Yes? Nothing I could make sense out of. Although they did talk about the prison I was going to. They even said I'd have a cellmate. Some mercenary. Supposedly he had some information they wanted. When he refused to talk, they started torturing him. The joke was they were going to make me play my lute and drive him crazy with my singing. Everyone's a critic. That he does, and while he may not care for my lute, I think the sound of my bow will be music to his ears. They call it Coldstone. It's an old mine to the southwest that tunnels under the mountains. Of course, this makes it a lot colder than most caves you'll find in Falkreath, hence the name. I think I got the gist of where it is by their description, but it's easier if I just mark it on your map.
Следуй за мной. Мне нужна твоя помощь.
As you wish, this life is yours to command. Fight me, you ugly horver! No guard at the entrance? That's odd. Wow, they weren't kidding when they said this place was cold. 10 feet down and the dirt's already frozen solid. Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like fighting.
Пора покончить с этой глупой игрой. Маленькая лживая шлюха. Малец ты.
Wow, they weren't kidding when they said this place was cold. 10 feet down and the dirt's already frozen solid. Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like fighting.
You picked a bad time to get
I'm
lost.
still sore where I took that arrow.
Что это было?
Не спрятаться от меня.
Приготовься к смерти. Нет! Мне с тобой не справиться.
Seeing all these dead Thalmor, part of me wants to pat these bandits on the back. But we'll just have to settle for stabbing them in it.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, you stupid bitch. Who are you? Why are you locked up? Oh, so we're gonna play it that way, are we? Well, I've got ways of making you... Hold on. Who's there?
Bravo. I rather enjoyed watching that man die.
Just doing our... Wait. You're not a merc. You're a Thalmor.
A brilliant observation. What will you tell me next? That I'm not a man? Even Boland has more sense than you cretins.
Big talk from a woman in a cage.
And your words are empty, considering you aren't the one who put me in here.
That may be true, but we killed the man who did.
Him? You killed a flea. Still, he was ugly and malodorous, so for that you have my gratitude. What is it you wish to know? Ah yes, him. Supposedly he's in possession of something valuable to the cause. Barbarians, obviously. They see a door and they kick it down. It never occurs to them to use the knob. Normally, the Justiciars would make swift work of them, but our numbers here have been dwindling. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Ah, so that explains your friend's attitude. He certainly has Boland's sneer. A name. This Khajiit came to the embassy insisting he knew the identity of a traitor in our group. In fact, some of his information was accurate enough to make high-ranking justiciars take pause. The Khajiit's price was unreasonable. It was nothing short of extortion. The Justiciars decided the best way to extract the information was through torture. Isn't it obvious? I put myself in. Because when they asked the Khajiit for a name, he told them mine. I turned myself in to prove I was innocent. The barbarians likely took him. They think he's hiding some grand treasure. When they hear the word valuable, the imbeciles can't conceive of anything beyond gold and gems. But who knows where they live? Probably underground with the rest of the vermin.
I think you're lying. I think you know precisely where they are.
Maybe. But it's not what you think. I have no interest in finding or interrogating the sellsword.
You expect us to believe that?
I forget you Bosmer are as thick as the trees you worship. Killing the sellsword would only embolden his claim. Torturing him would only lead to more lies. When I look at him, I don't see a witness. I see a waste of a perfectly good whip.
Then why don't you tell us where to find him?
And why should I do that? What do I get in return?
Well, we can let you out of this cage for one.
You're braver than I thought. You do realize what you're saying, don't you? I could kill you both in an instant.
It occurred to me you'd try, but wouldn't it be easier just to tell us? You just give us a name and walk away. Far, far away.
Interesting. All right, I'll tell you where they are. On one condition. I'm coming with you.
What? You want to work together? You do realize I have a history with the Thalmor. It's not the kind I want to revisit.
Believe me, it pains me as much as it does you. But these bandits killed Justicias. This cannot go unpunished. And suffice to say, I doubt you have the skill to do so.
Fine, but I don't want any stray spells hitting our Khajiit friend. Once the bandits are dead, you're welcome to leave. In fact, I insist you do.
My thoughts exactly.
Alright, door's open. Now where are these bandits from?
The one you killed. He mentioned a keep not far from here. We should start there.
Тут кто-нибудь есть?
Тут кто-то есть?
So, how's it feel to be fighting for reasons that aren't completely evil?
The concept of good and evil is based on perspective. For a vampire, the sun is wicked.
Что это было?
It is a source of nourishment.
Теперь
We're like vampires? Just misunderstood people who can't help it. I'll remember that next time. I fight.
Только глупее.
Больше ничего не умеешь?
Right.
Нет. Я тебя сделаю.
No one said we were the vampires. I never asked you, Bosmer. Why are you here? What do you care what happens to this rug?
Some of us don't need a reason to help people. We were taught to do what's right.
Wood elf.
Yeah?
How can you insist on singing those irritating Nord tunes of yours? They're as awful as they are repetitive. It's almost like you want me to fill your ears with ice spikes.
Don't worry, Methril. I won't be giving up my loot anytime soon. In fact, the more she hates it, the more it makes me want to play. So, Mithril and I were wondering, how's it feel to be fighting for reasons that aren't, you know, completely evil?
The mortal concept of good and evil is based on perspective. For a vampire, the sun is wicked. For a plant, it is a source of nourishment.
Oh, so you're saying the Thalmor are like vampires? Just misunderstood people who can't help but hate the sun. I'll remember that next time one of them tries to bite you.
I never said we were the vampires.
Do you really think humans are lesser beings? Isn't it obvious we're just as flawed as they are?
That is what you don't understand. Flaws, imperfections. These are all constructs forced upon us by Talos.
Я покажу тебе настоящий берется настоящий Я порежу тебя на кусочки! Что не дождался забрать свои денежки?
Makar won't save you, bandit. Sorry, my friend, but you just aren't good enough.
Моли своих богов.
Умрешь, тебя будет гораздо легче Покажи мне, что ты умеешь. Победа твоя! А? Плохое ты выбираешь время.
You're Paragon. It makes you a hypocrite.
Наконец-то!
Halt, Outlander.
Think about what? You have to be more specific. Nair is not a mine. But Khajiit confesses he has not tried. Perhaps if you would let him rip open your skull.
Ha! Hope you're willing to back up those words with your fists.
Nair doesn't back up his words with fists. This one uses his claws.
Ничтожество!
Ah!
Царапина! Только глупец может бороться со мной.
Ah, thanks for the assist. You don't look like bandits. What brings you here?
Мы пришли спасти тебя.
This is good news. It will save Nair the trouble of doing it himself. And so many of you. Are you all here to help Nair? Today is truly his lucky day.
We're just adventurers, here to do a good deed.
Ah, adventurers. This makes sense. Nair is glad he will not have to kill you. After all, this one is popular with certain types of men. Bandits and bards, sellswords and swindlers. And sometimes even the Thalmor.
Don't worry about her, she's just here to kill bandits.
That's poor advice, cretin. The furball should be worried. He should take great pains not to give me a reason to kill him, considering what he's done.
Ah, Nair understands. He would do his best to keep his words respectful and polite. Khajiit wouldn't want any premature deaths. He's there? This is what the rumors say. Perhaps Nair started them. Lucky for him, the elves cannot turn off their ears when he speaks. Why, indeed. Perhaps because he knew she was innocent. A lie is best told with only a sliver of evidence. It plants just enough doubt to bleed you out from the inside.
You think yourself clever, Cat. But the only reason you're still alive is because you're worthless to me dead.
Nair understands, and he apologizes for using you. He did not realize the name he spoke belonged to such a beauty.
What's that? You want some
And
feet?
she ignores Nair. He was only trying to be nice. Perhaps
what
she
he's
would
saying.
prefer
Let's
he
just-
claw her eyes out instead. Nair prefers to call himself a salesman. It just so happens his most valuable item is himself. And Nair would like nothing more than his enemies to think the same. But yes, it does make it hard to pitch his services to clients. Perhaps this is why Nair has only served one client his entire life. But he has paid him handsomely. Nair has been working the same rate for the past 10 years. 100 drakes per day. While he has only had one client, he has yet to dismiss Nair. As such, he has never gone hungry. They were desperate for the name of Nair's client. This one put it in their head he would hire the best of them. This was a lie, of course, but the job is real. Nair is glad you asked. However, this is not the time or place for such a discussion. Perhaps if the three of you would accompany him to Falkreath?
Forget it, Rug. I have no interest in your quest for pointless trinkets. Be thankful I haven't roasted you alive.
Tell me, Talmor, do you really think it's a coincidence Nair spoke your name? Of all the Talmor he has met in his travels, why yours?
You may have a point, but I have no time for riddles, furball. What are you getting at?
All will be made clear when we meet my client in Falkreath. The same goes for you, Bosmer.
Me? What did I do?
Do you really think that Talmor imprisoned you over a song? Nair is the one who gave them your name. In fact, as this concerns all three of you, Nair asks that you all attend. The fourth member is already there.
And if we don't?
Oh, that would not be a good idea. Nair is very protective of his client. He would not like to disappoint him. Say no, and Nair might do something terrible. Like, rip out your entrails and feed them to crows. So please, try not to keep his client waiting.
What do you think, Mithril?
Huh?
Yes?
Заходи.
Good. You're all here. It's not often I leave Cyrodiil for anything. But given what's happened, you've left me little choice. I trust you all understand the gravity of your offenses.
The only thing I understand is that you're the one responsible for wasting my time. Or is there some other person I need to kill to end this meeting?
Ah yes, the Thalmor. Or ex-Thalmor. I was told you'd be the most difficult to wrangle. It was just outside this very inn, was it not, that you murdered my father's steward? Of course the guards say it was a duel. I have a hard time believing that.
I kill a lot of people. I make it a point not to care.
That attitude is fine if you have the Dominion to protect you, but those days are over. You may be strong, but you're hardly invincible.
No one's invincible, not even you.
Ah, Danelin Hokehollow, the bard who can say aggression. But it isn't your politics that brought you here. It's your gambling. About a season ago, you took a large sum of drakes from a merchant under my father's employ. That money was supposed to go to bodyguards for a caravan headed to Rothvine Manor. Without the bodyguards, the caravan was easy prey for a certain vigilante. It cost my father quite a large sum in gold.
Then you should
Привет.
bring that
Привет.
merchant here.
Здорово, что мы
He's the one
встретились.
to
Я вот что
blame.
хочу спросить.
Здрасте,
Quite
дамочки.
true. But
Чем
he's
вам
already
такой
dead.
прекрасный день
And
может
while I can't blame you for his gambling habits,
Не
I
знаю.
can blame you for
Если
cheating him.
увидишь в округе
Or is the ace in your boot simply for show?
дай нам знать, ладно?
How did you...
There's nothing I don't know, Bosmer. But yes, yours is a minor
Ой,
sin.
да ладно.
The assassins, on the other hand, is another matter entirely. The two of you, after all, are responsible for killing my father, the Baron Gabanya. Hardly. As the bastard child of the family, I barely knew my father, and what little I've heard doesn't cast him in a flattering light. No, my issue is that your little act of vengeance cost his business, nay, my business, a large sum in gold. I'm here to seek restitution for that sum. No, but my sister will, and that is who I want you to eliminate.
You want us to kill your own sister?
I want you to kill my father's daughter. She's a vile woman, make no mistake about that. But that may only be relevant to Oak Hollow, given his moral compass. The larger point is the four of you owe a debt of gold and a debt of blood. To pay it, my sister would ask that you take your lives. I would ask that you take hers. She and I share a much different opinion of our father, and inherited much different traits. My sister has her mother's passion, and her father's bloodlust. As long as she's alive, your friend will never be safe, regardless of what Sithis thinks. My father did not leave a will. This should have been obvious to anyone why. He was a man who believed in survival of the fittest. While my sister focuses only on revenge, I see an opportunity. It is for this reason that I am the rightful heir. I'm sure there are hundreds all over Tamriel. I was simply fortunate enough to be born in the kitchen and not the brothel. Unfortunately, after my father's death, my sister was quick to seize all of his assets. But she doesn't realize her moves are pointless. This game can be won with a single stroke. Yes, my mother was little more than a scullery maid. As such, I was born with my father's wit, but my mother's roots. Everything I've gotten has been through sweat and hard work. I will not stand by and let my spoiled brat of a sister run our business into the ground. Nair was the bodyguard assigned to me by my father. It was an insult to my mother, meant to appease the Baroness. But my father's cunning extended beyond the battlefield. You may have guessed, but Nair is no ordinary sellsword. The way he brought you four to me is a perfect example of his guile. Yes, like my sister, my father could have assigned me some nameless bodyguard, but by giving me Nair, he not only satisfied his wife's petulance, but he gave me a mentor who knew more than how to swing a sword. I've mostly dealt with the economic side, helping the former steward balance the books. But when you handle the gold, you gain an understanding of how the entire system works. Let me put it this way. Everything I know about my father, I've pieced together from those financial records. Slave trades, court bribes, skooma smuggling. The list goes on. And he was every bit the scoundrel that the rumors claim. My sister may be daft, but my father's spies are still under her employ. We needed to bring everyone together in a way that didn't seem suspicious. As it stands now, you rescued Nair, and in the process formed bonds with your companions. I am here, of course, to reward the fine adventurers who saved him. Then my sister will likely hunt you all as payment for our father's life. While this will square your debt, I'd rather we handle this differently. At one of my father's manors off the coast, Nair will provide you with the details. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have business I must attend to. After all, there is more to saving our fortune beyond stopping my sister from spending it. But I want to wish you all good luck. Hopefully when next we meet, it will be under less clandestine circumstances.
All right, let's say we agree to this. I take it you have a plan?
Naturally. As his client mentioned, the target lives on an island just off the coast. As a former military outpost, the place is heavily fortified, but not impossible to enter.
And I suppose you would have us march right through the front gate.
Actually, there are two separate ways into the main chamber. One is the back door, an old entrance that runs underneath the fort. The Baron has been using it as an emergency tunnel. Of course, it is littered with traps that can be more perilous than any sword.
And the other?
The other is the front entrance. As you might expect, the way is blocked off by a garrison of elite guardsmen. Yet both traps and men can be evaded if your feet are light and your tongue is sharp.
And what path do you suggest we take?
It is entirely up to you. Nair does not believe in cutting bellies with daggers when you can use your teeth, but he realizes not everyone thinks as he does. It is best to let you choose your own way.
Well, I think we can all agree that sneaking around back like cowards is not an option.
I agree. Not about the coward thing, but the sneaking out back part. Not all of us are light on our feet. What's that supposed to mean? Hey, where are you going? By Yifri, what is his problem? Doesn't he realize we have to work as a team?
You don't have to do anything. Especially if the idea comes out of your mouth. We just need to kill everyone on that island.
Or we can try it my way first. That makes sense to you, doesn't it? If my plan fails, we can still kill everyone. In fact, we'd pretty much have to.
Fine. Tell us your grand plan. I could use a good laugh.
Well, as a card player, I think I'm pretty good at reading people, even if I've never met them. The Baron's daughter lives on an island. People like that are paranoid, but they're also extremely bored. I'm sure she'd love some entertainment every now and then. Maybe her brother sends us as a gift to his dear little sister.
Nair thinks this can be arranged, but the others are not bards. One wrong move and your heads will be used to decorate the pikes.
Ah, but what if we weren't just bards, but rather traveling artists? In our group, we have singers, actors, and jesters. We perform songs, acrobatics, and comedies. And for humor, you always need a straight man to play off of. The Thalmor's perfect for that.
And what makes you think I can play this straight man?
Because all you have to do is stand there and be yourself. Ultimately, the only thing that matters is we earn a trust. Maybe even get her to become an active participant.
Фолкрит — отличное местечко, Боланд.
Фолкрит — место, куда приходят умирать. Мы могли бы сражаться, вернуть себе земли нордов.
Exactly. The only question is what to perform. I doubt she'll let us shoot a sweet roll off her head.
Что ты задумал?
Do you know the story of Fiori and Holgier? It ends with one of them getting bit by a snake. Usually a man plays a snake and kills Fiori with a prop dagger. All we need to do is make the death real. By the time they realize she isn't acting, we'll have escaped the manor.
Nair likes it, but what about our brooding friend?
I'll think of something. Improvisation is what an actor does best.
Well, it sounds to me like your plan is idiotic. Which is all the better, seeing as I'll get to kill more monkeys.
Good. Nair will arrange for the leather and the costumes. Simply come to the docks in Windale when you are ready.
Фолкрит — место, куда приходят умирать. Мы могли бы сражаться, вернуть себе земли нордов.
Фолкрит наш дом. Тут у нас есть работа под властью хорошего ярла. Пока война до нас не дойдет, мы тут и останемся.
There's no end to it, is there? Seems no matter what I do, she's always gonna be in danger. I signed up to be her protector. But it's different now that I'm her father. It's not just her life I'm trying to protect. It's her childhood. Look at her. I haven't seen Morgan this happy in a long time. I used to dread these moments. The quiet times. Because I knew they wouldn't last. Now I realize that's the wrong way to look at it. Nothing lasts forever. Just knowing these days still exist. That's good enough. Gives me a reason to keep going. I don't want to hide anymore. Not from the Brotherhood. And not from Gabonia's men. Maybe. Or maybe someone else will want vengeance for her. I can't keep doing this. I used to talk about those faces. The apathy. Like it was the worst thing in the world. But the truth is, one day I looked at my reflection and saw that face was mine. Morgan changed all that. I'm not gonna leave her again. Yeah, I guess I am. But I don't want to leave you high and dry either. Tell you what, I'll talk to an old friend of ours. Have him meet you at the docks. If anything, you'll be better off with him.